Welcome back everyone to my Robinhood portfolio. So we have some exciting news today, and that is my Robinhood account is finally back up and running. I will say this is a couple of weeks late. I've had my account back since the beginning of this month. And for those of you who missed it, recently I had my account restricted for about a week straight because at one point when I was creating my Robinhood account, I somehow created two at a time, and I'm guessing Robinhood had just recently found that out. And they basically told me to consolidate both accounts in order to gain access to buy stocks again. So my account became restricted on the 24th of July. Then after going back and forth with Robinhood support, I was finally able to consolidate both accounts and get access on the 31st of July. Then after I got my account back, I went on a cruise that following week with very limited access to Wi-Fi and internet connection. The Wi-Fi was just really spotty or really slow. Plus, I was on a cruise, so I wasn't really thinking about the stock market or my Robinhood portfolio much anyway. By the way, it was an Alaskan cruise and it was incredible, so if any of you are considering visiting Alaska, I would definitely recommend it. So the point of all this is that there were a few weeks in a row where I wasn't able to buy any stocks, and during those 2 weeks, stocks were actually falling and providing really good opportunities to buy. So needless to say, I unfortunately missed out on some pretty good buying opportunities when stocks were low. But as you've probably seen, stocks have recently been rallying quite a bit for various economic reasons. So I've been able to take part in this little rally and see some quick recovery in the portfolio. With that being said, I wanted to give a brief update on my portfolio and talk about some of the positions because there have been a few recent changes. So we are right near the portfolio's all-time high, just a few $1,000s off. And probably the biggest change in the portfolio is that the number one spot or the largest position is now Nvidia, whereas before it was Microsoft. So Microsoft is now number 2 and Apple is now number 3. Now the reasons why Nvidia is now number 1 is mostly because the stock itself has been continuing to grow every week. So it's right near its all-time high, and I've also been buying more shares as well. So Nvidia now makes up just under 13% of the portfolio, or market value of $17,000. Now jumping to Apple, it's currently still number 3 in the portfolio, but I've been recently seeing a lot of chatter about Apple stock and how a lot of investors are deciding to sell or trim their positions in Apple. And I want to say that a lot of this probably has to do with Warren Buffett himself selling 50% of his Apple position, according to the recent 10Q report. Last quarter, he sold just under 400 million shares. So there's been some debate on whether or not Apple will continue to grow at a significant rate going forward, or if it will end up being more sluggish from here. As for me, I still think Apple is a really solid company that is worth holding for the next couple of years. So I won't necessarily be selling, but I also won't be buying too heavily into Apple either. I've also decreased my portfolio size recently by selling completely out of a few positions. So I went from about 50 holdings now down to 45, which to some of you I know still sounds like too many, but I found that my sweet spot is anywhere from 40 to 45 different holdings. It is still quite a few stocks to keep track of, but obviously this is something that I enjoy doing, and so far it's been manageable. So two of the biggest holdings that I sold completely out of are both Monster Energy and PepsiCo. And they're not identical companies, they do a lot more than just produce energy drinks and soda. But I do think that the soda and energy drink market is extremely saturated. It seems like there's a new energy drink every week from a different company or an influencer's brand. So I do think it's getting harder and harder every year to maintain market share, which is one of the reasons why I think both Pepsi and Monster have been very flat for a very long time. So I sold out of both these companies completely with a very flat return on each. Which brings me to Celsius Holdings that I've owned since about the beginning of the year. And as you can see, I'm down currently 36% on this position. Thankfully, it's less than 1% of the portfolio. And I will admit too that it was a very speculative play. I did just kind of jump into the stock as well as everybody else at the beginning of the year. It was very overhyped. So this is beginning to be an example of why it's important not to just jump into a stock that is very popular. And there's still mixed reactions about this company. Some people are still claiming that it's going to reach $100 again, and they might be right. But if you ask me, I'm not very bullish anymore on energy drink companies. So we're gonna see what this stock does over the next few months or even a year. And I'll decide whether or not I'm going to continue holding onto this position. So that's about all that's happened so far in the portfolio. If you guys enjoy updates like this, then just make sure to put a like on this video. I really do appreciate all the support you guys have given. We're up to 4,000 subscribers now, which is awesome. So thanks again for all the support, and I will see you next time.